What's going on, guys? This is Derek with FitnessVolt.com. Today I'm being joined by the one, the only, the world's strongest man, Tom Stoltman. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's still not really sunk in this, just what I've achieved this weekend. So yeah, but I feel so good that I was able to put it over the line. So
When you hear that, when you hear Tom Stoltman, the world's strongest man, what does that mean to you? What does that feel like?
I mean, it means the world to me. You know, I've kind of since I've started this sport, I've always had that one eye on world's strongest man. I write it down every single day of my life. I write it in the kitchen. I write it in books. I write it everywhere. World's strongest man. World's strongest man. My whole life evolves around world's strongest man. So to be able to do it, in such a kind of a short career, to be the first guy in Scotland to do it, I'm not going to get bored of someone calling me world's strongest man for a long, long time. So.
Well, I can imagine that that's you're probably on cloud nine right now. I know when we had talked last year, it was your first time being on the podium. You were the first Scottish man on the podium, and you told me I couldn't win unless my wife was in the audience. What was that like, knowing that she was there, that you were able to win, and that she was able to watch it all for you?
I mean, she wasn't obviously here this year, but I put her on FaceTime as soon as I won it. She saw me lift the trophy and stuff, and yeah, I won World's Strongest Man without her here, but she's back at home. My dad's back at home. All my family's back at home. But yeah, I did it for them. My wife. I sacrificed a lot of things for her to be this sport. She's let me kind of sacrifice a lot of time with her as well. And I mean, you need a supportive kind of wife and better half to do this kind of sport. And she's second to none. And this I owe this to her. So it's an amazing achievement.
Now let's briefly touch on the events of the week. When it came to the qualifying rounds, you started off really strong, but then towards the end of it, you kind of had a little bit of a struggle. I ended up having to do the Atlas Stone off. Were you concerned at all about making it to the finals, or were you confident? I mean, obviously you're the king of stones, but was there any doubt in your mind that you weren't going to be able to make it to the finals?
And I was never. I mean, the qualifiers are qualifiers at the end of the day. For me, it's the hardest part. Like, look at the reigning world's strongest man. He didn't get out of his group. So, I mean, I came top three in every event in the qualifying. It's just that if that was last year, I would have went through easily. So it's just this year was so much more tighter. So many good, great athletes here. And no, as soon as I got to the stone off, I mean, unfortunately, I had to put out Mark Felix, the legend of the sport. My kind of great British, colleague as well. But it is what it is, and I was confident. I'm just so confident with stones now, and yeah, luckily I won.
What were your thoughts on the group? I mean, you had a pretty tough time, and not a tough time, but a lot of veterans in there that you were going up against. Was there anything about the group itself that surprised you?
I mean, yeah, the performance. I mean, like, uh, you know, you can't take anyone for granted in World's Strongest Man. You can, like, I mean, my group only had myself as the finalist from last year, but we have Trey Mitchell, who's an amazing athlete, amazing stone lifter as well. Mark Felix, who's experienced, has been around the game for a long, long time. Could be my dad as well. So, and then you have Evan Singleton, who didn't meet, who got to the final last year but got injured. So, there's a lot of hungry guys there. But I knew that if I had plan B, and that was to get to the stone off and get through. And luckily, I didn't have to exert too much energy in the stone off. So.
Now you won the stone off, you made it to the finals, and then from the start, you were just absolutely crushing it. You won the first two events. I believe they said it was the first, like it was the widest gap between first place and second place after two events in World's Strongest Man history. How did you feel after getting that back-to-back victory?
I mean, that's the thing you kind of have to. I mean, starting off so well is where the title can be won and lost as well. As soon as I done that, my phone was going off like I'd won World's Strongest Man. But I won two events. This means nothing. I was just there and focusing on myself. I mean, Brian Shaw. There's so many good guys in the final, and all I wanted to do was get a good lead, and then I knew Brian was going to battle back on the log and deadlift, and luckily for me, the first day started off. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start, So.
And he did exactly that. He was able to come back. You guys, I think, were only separated by 1 point at one moment in time. Was there any doubt in your mind that you were going to be able to beat him in the end, or were you confident the whole way through?
I mean, I think it was written in the stars because a lot of people said to me even yesterday that, oh, it's going to be you versus Brian to on the stones to win the trophy. But, you know, there was always wee doubts in your mind when, like, you know, I didn't do very well in the lob press. But looking back at it, that's only an event that let me down, really. You know, I went all out in the deadlift, won 2 events in the final, came second, and then, you know, won this title on, well, won, sorry, 3 events in the final. So, you know, it's a really good final for myself, but Brian pushed me all the way to the end, and that just a credit to him because he's come back where people thought they were going to write him off and they thought he was done last year, and he's come back bigger, stronger, and better. And it's good to see kind of Brian there we're pushing each other and getting the best out of us. So it was a really good battle.
Were you surprised that he was able to come back the way he did after the way he looked in 2020?
No, I mean, it's Brian Shaw. You know, you don't win 4 World Strongest Mans for just for nothing. And like I said before, Brian Shaw's so professional at what he does. He knows the sport inside out. So, you know, like I said, you can never write someone off. I mean, I've had bad competitions. Every single athlete's had bad competitions, and I knew Brian was going to come back bigger and better this year. He's hungry for the 5th title, and yeah, look what he did. You know, I mean, he pushed us to the end. So.
All right, now you ended the contest, 3 victories in the finals, World's Strongest Man champion, first time in Scottish history. Unfortunately, in order to get there, you also had to go through your brother. You guys, during the loading medley, you guys had to go head to head. What was that like? Was there any sort of sibling rivalry that took effect at that point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we found out the night before that we were going against each other, and I think that's what pumped myself and him up the most in the final. Like, well, it's the first event of the final, and I was so fired up. He was fired up, and it took the best out of us. And yeah, we love competing against each other, but you know, it's a good rivalry. You know, I seen him in front of me, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose, and then he dropped it, and I was thanking him for letting me, you know, win the race and stuff. But you know, it's all just banter. You know, we do this together for fun. We know what we put each other through, and it's just, you know, it's a bit of fun, and we're traveling the world together as a family. So you know, it's a friendly kind of competitive thing we have going on with each other.
Now, have you guys had a chance to talk yet? I know you're basically fresh off the stones. Have you guys had a chance to share a moment together?
I mean, as soon as I'd done the stones, you rugby tackled me to the ground, so and kissed me. But you know, like, Luke's my biggest support. You know, I've said that since day one. I don't need to say anything. Every single person can see that. You know, Luke's here for me. I'm here for him. And you know, as soon as he'd done his stones, he came into the room, got me psyched up in front of Brian Shaw, and really got me hyped up. And you know, just telling me that I'm the king. I'm going to win this. I'm going to walk it. And as soon as I done that, we cuddled. We had a few words to each other. You know, we pointed to the sky to my mum, and that was it. You know, it's a special moment. But once, you know, we're going to go back to the hotel, get a few drinks together, and just really get this synced in, because I think it's not something for both of us. You know, so.
I'm sure it's a very surreal feeling at this point. Like I said, you're fresh off the stones. You probably still got chalk on your hands. Now, what's next for Tom Stoltman after this? I mean, you're on top of the world right now. Have you even thought about it?
Yeah, I mean, what's next is probably going back home and having a big party in our gym. That's but in strongman, you know, I've got Giants Live, the Royal Albert Hall, which is another historical event back in the UK, which I'm going to be pleased to be part of. But you know, I have to enjoy this. You know, you're not human if you've just won, you know, the biggest trophy, the biggest competition in your sport. And I'm not thinking about the future just now. This is a life-changing moment for myself, my family, and everything. So I'm just going to enjoy this, soak it in, and just you know, think of the kind of, my name's now on a list of greats, you know, with the likes of Big Z, Brian Shaw, you know, Magnuson and stuff. So yeah, it's not going to sink in for a while. So.
Now, you told me last year, you said this year it was the podium. Next year, it's the first place victory. I want to bring home that title to Scotland. What does it mean to you and your pride for your country to have been able to become the first Scottish World's Strongest Man?
I mean, it means a lot to me. You know, I've said I'm so kind of open, and I'm so vocal on social media. And I posted before I came out that I was going to win World's Strongest Man, and I'm so motivated to win this, and I just wanted to make history again. And to do it in the way I did, it's a special feeling. And like I said, you're the first guy in Scotland to ever do it, and you know, everyone in Scotland's going to talk of this for a long, long time. So it's good to kind of put Scotland on the map there now, and you know, because we're rubbish at most sports. So I mean, it's good to be good at some sport now. So
All right, and I'll get you out of here on this again, Tom. I really appreciate your time and congratulations. What's your one message to all your fans who have been supporting you this whole time?
Just thank you very much for kind of staying by me through the thick and thin, and you know, hopefully I've repaid the favor and took home a big shiny trophy to you guys. So yeah, just thank you for everything, all the support. I wouldn't be here without them guys. So.
All right, Tom. Well, again, congratulations. We look forward to see just how far you can take this, and enjoy your party. Don't get too much of a hangover.
Bye bye.